Okay, so this is problem 3-1 in the physics book. Okay, a military helicopter on a training mission is flying horizontally at a speed of 60.0 meters per second. And while doing this, it accidentally drops a bomb at an elevation of 300 meters. Ignore air resistance, and for letter A, calculate how much time is required for the bomb to reach the earth. For letter B, how far does it travel horizontally while falling? Letter C, find the horizontal and vertical components of its velocity just before it strikes the earth. So let me draw a sketch again for the problem. So for example, an helicopter, so more or less tail, then body, then the rotor. Okay, there's now a helicopter that also the landing. Okay, so this is now the helicopter moving forward horizontally with the velocity of 60.0 meters per second. And while this helicopter is just 300 meters above the ground, it accidentally drops a bomb. But bomb, hulog kang bomb, kung ikaw nasa bus, more or less, will you be happy kung nakasama sa helicopter na nahulog na bomb? Well, nahulog na bomb dyan, color white. Okay, and good thing is, since the helicopter is moving forward, this won't hit you kung nakadaan, diba? Kung may go kay, this bomb will be moving on a trajectory which is a path taken by a projectile. Okay, so parabolic na path, and okay, and question here, how much time is required for the bomb to reach the earth? So yung lang idea ng time. Now again, we'll then divide the concepts of projectile into motion along x, okay? Motion along x, and also motion along y. Kaya ang projectile is just a combination of these two motions. Okay? And number one, open space along x. The reality, the quantum equation of the balance. We have motion along y and motion along x. Now, for along y, this is what? Constant acceleration. And we will have here the three equations that I usually write always, almost all of the time. Vy final, no, V final y is equal to Voy plus Ay times time. Second, I will also write dy is equal to Voy t plus 1/2 Ay half Ay t squared. Okay. Also, I'm usually writing also 2a times dy is equal to V final squared, the y component minus Voy squared. For along x, what I write is only this one. Dx is equal to Vox times time. Okay? Now, for letter A, letter A, time. Time so that the bomb will reach the earth. So may meaning anak, maabot niya sa ground. Meaning na, it has already traveled a dy of, ilagay in dy, this is 300 meters. It has already traveled 300 meters. Okay? Therefore, pangitao na ako ng time, and therefore, I will be using the second equation. Kabulong ko sa dy, kabulong ko sa initial along y, and everything. Now, I'll be using that equation. Dy is equal to Voy t plus 1/2 A t squared. Okay? Now, what is dy? Well, kana siya, maabot siya sa ground. It has traveled in the y-axis. Makatravel na siya o negative 300. Why negative? Because I assume a positive value of dy, meaning moving upward. And since baba na yung motion, means negative 300 meters. About VOY. What is VOY? Well, since the projectile is only given with the horizontal velocity, initial velocity, therefore VOY will be 0. 0 plus 1 half. What is A? A, since the projectile is always pulled by gravity downward, that means A will be negative 9.81 meters per second squared times time squared. From here, I can calculate time, which is equal to 300 times 2 divided 9.81, take the square root of that, and the answer will be 7.82 seconds. So meaning it will take around 7.82 seconds for this projectile to reach this portion, to reach the ground. Okay? Now, letter B, how far does it travel horizontally while falling? So, how far does it travel horizontally while falling? Meaning, pila yung motion pa-horizontal while nag-fall siya. So, actually, we're looking there for dx. Okay? The horizontal man daw. So, that dx, letter B, dx is simply given by Vox times time. And we know Vox to be 60. And time, already calculated, that it will hit the ground after 7.82 seconds. So, 7.82, and I'll be getting a value of 7.82 times 60, 469.2 meters. Roughly around half kilometer ang matravel niya along X before siya. So, meaning kung nakadiani, it will be safe. Pwede mo na siya mahulog sa imong tungod, but around, ikan ka sa 80, paing pa siguro sa haba. Sa hardware before ito pa mahulog ang bomb. So that's dx. Letter C. Find the horizontal and vertical component of its velocity just before it strikes the earth. Now, kaninga kuan is tricky. Kabulo man ka nga the projectile motion is just a combination of duha ka motion. Motion along x and motion along y. Motion along x and motion along y. Therefore, you will also have, before it hits this target, napugay Vx, napugay V1. And the resultant of that will simply be the vector sum of the two, or, I think you already know what we mean by that. So we just need to calculate for final, velocity final, meaning before it hits the target, what will be Vfx. So, based on here, we know that motion along x, constant ang velocity along x, meaning it's equal to the original velocity along x, which is 60. Dili magkahinay ang movement along the horizontal. Kung unsa ang initial niya component, mawala pa siya 60 meters per second. How about velocity final, y component? Okay? We know that, the object could be assumed to move downward. Okay? Downward siya. And for how long? 7.82 seconds. And we can calculate using this equation what is V final after that time. So we know V initial to be what? Along Y. Ba siya, sa start ba na ituklod ba siya pababa? Wala, no? So wala siya velocity along Y. Therefore, Vfy is equal to Voy, that's 0, plus 1 half. No 1 half. Plus A. What is A? A is negative 9.8 meters per second. Time is 7.82. Meaning, this time is needed before the package through the bomb will hit the ground. So in that case, you'll be solving 9.8 times 7.82. That's negative 76. So, the y component of the velocity will be negative 76.67. No, that's 64. See, 64 meters per second, and that is downward the negative man. So this is the horizontal component, and this is the vertical component. Just isang ipangayuan. Kung pangayuan ka, what is its speed before it hits the target? Meaning, speed is just the magnitude of the resultant velocity. Then you'll be calculating for something like V final is equal to V final squared x plus V final squared. This is just how you get the resultant of two components. And I think we understand that fairly good enough. So that's for projectile problem, sample problem with projectile. So kani atong mga problem pa so far is ato ang VOY is just 0, so mas simple. Later in the next problem, we'll try to solve atong nanay component ng atong initial velocity along y.